Hey Sparklers, how we doing? So tonight I have Craig with me as a guest. If you don't know me, I am Empress Sparkle. I'm a witch, clairvoyant, and Hellenic pagan, as well as soul seer. So Craig, would you mind introducing yourself for me, please?
Sure. I'm sorry, somebody was just texting me, and
No,
I thought my phone was off. Bad, Craig. Um, my name is Craig Sotkovsky. I have a message to humanity, and I believe that most people need a couple tweaks in their life to optimize their life. And I'm here to present my light to the world. And because I've lived in so much darkness in my life, that I've alchemized everything for me to be able to live, learn, teach. I brought myself to a new understanding of myself through psychedelics, through sitting in meditation for years. Um, yeah, so my story is I have a powerful message simply because I'm willing to tell it. And I believe most people, go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying I love that. I've got a thing about I love that. If I agree with something, I'm like, oh, I just love it.
I believe most people are stuck in this world and they don't understand how to tap into the quantum field. They don't understand what energies are. They don't understand about blocks. They don't understand just in general about life. And it's sad because everybody needs to tell their story because we all have stories. And you never know who is going to benefit from the stories. So most people,
This is one of the things that I think why I love doing the paranormal side, because everyone's experience of it is so different. And like you were saying earlier, so I actually said to Craig something and I have to get him to say it again because I was like, wow. And that was about the fact of most people not believing that there's life after death. And your reply just really took me out.
most people don't believe in their life. Most people don't understand, who they are. Most people don't understand that, we are light seeking the human experience. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of humans that don't want to experience life because they're afraid. And that goes to pre-programming. That goes to everything that you're told you can't do. And the sad part about it is that most people believe it. For the longest time, I did. For myself, for the longest time, I believed I wasn't enough.
I think that's one of the hardest things, isn't it? Because it's a bit like me with my clairvoyance. When I start doubting myself, all of a sudden my spirit guides go away. When I go into meditation, I can't sometimes even get to my safe place and stuff like that. So I think this is one of the things that I actually love about this conversation because it shows actually how the way we've been brought up and trained, I don't know what other way to say it other than trained, really can affect what we're thinking in life, like the future and even our spirituality. It can even affect that and the way that we react to different situations. Like we've got a video of 30 East Drive of the door opening. And someone says that door didn't even open. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, it clearly opens. And I'm like, what?
You have to meet people where they're at, not where you
Yes.
want them to be. And that's one of the biggest things as like a coach that I emphasize. Because I used to I wanted to save the world, right? I wanted to save the world. And that was like one of the biggest naive notions I've ever had because the world doesn't need saving. The world is okay on its own. It's the individuals that have to save themselves. And then collectively, we create this energy that spreads like a diaspora around the world. And now everybody's attracted to the light. But the light here, right? The
Yes.
light here.
See, now I love that because that is very true. Absolutely love that because in even paranormal, hey, sweet, paranormal and not paranormal, that is so true. And the reason why I say that is because energy is what ghosts are. ghosts are energy. No matter what anyone tries to put on it, that is what they are. So for me, it's like, this is why I want people to get to white lights. And I'm like, I have still got a bit of that savior complex, Craig, and I will admit that. And I'm like, I want everyone to get to white light, because I'm like, I don't want you to be stuck here. I don't want you to be stuck here. You know, I'm like, come on, let's get white as we can.
But this is the greatest place to be stuck, because Earth is a school, right? So it's like the longer you hold yourself back, right? So stuck means that you have an obstacle and you can't figure out a solution, right? So if we sit in our darkness, and nobody knows our darkness other than ourselves, right? We all believe people know our stories, but that's not really true, because we hold the key to improving our life, right? Most people don't want to use it to open up the lock. They want to keep that. They want to keep everything closed. So
Keep
we are
in their safe box.
Absolutely. But here's the thing: you don't learn anything in that safe box, right? You have to. Life is chaos. So when you're tapping into the quantum field, you're tapping into all the energies that are here. But it's your frequency that you have to dial in. That changes your vibration and energy. And most people are afraid of the noise of silence. And that's a wild place, man. You know, my silence was so loud for years.
That is so true, because this is one of the things that I'll hold my hands up, even when we're going ghost hunting, if I'm meditating, if I'm trying to contact my spirit guides, if I'm trying to figure something out, I need to go somewhere that's silent. And I never thought of people being afraid of that silence, of once it's actually, you know, because once, I'm not saying we've figured it out, but once we've figured out a way to figure it out through meditation, through going into that silent place, I never thought of that.
See, the thing about silence is, so we all have a processor, right? It's called the reticular activating system. And I have sat in silence for years battling cancer, for years in meditation. What I realized for myself, just through my experience, is that I do my best work in pure chaos, pandemonium, like complete craziness, complete chaos. That's where I do my best work. And I was doing that as a trauma coach, and I was helping, traffic victims and stuff like that, because I was seeing past their pain. Because we're stuck in stories that have emotional attachments that we can't get past. And once you change that biochemistry inside of us, everything starts to walk away or run sometimes.
I love that. I love that. And this is what I want for everyone. And this is why I say, I know, Craig, I've still got my savior complex, because I want this for everyone. I'm like, everyone needs it. I know not everyone's going to get it. And I do know that there's only a few of us that are going to ever evaluate, evaluate, I can't remember the word, go higher. I know the word, but I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's like,
I'm not laughing at you. I just love conversations, man, because like free flowing conversations, right? We get stuck with like, what's the best word we could use? And then it's like, I don't remember, but you know what?
So what? And I think that is one of the things that actually, now I've let go of society rules, that is one of the best things. Now that I can, like, I've been in the ghost business for years, absolutely years.
Ghost business?
Yeah, I call it the ghost business. For absolute years, you know, going to people's haunted houses, sorting them out, but never shared it, because I was like, everyone's going to think I'm insane. Everyone's going to think that I'm nuts.
Good.
And now I'm like, no, who cares what you think? I do struggle a little bit. I know Michelle might call me out in a minute from a dark side, bless her heart. But I do struggle sometimes, because sometimes I'm like, is it me? Is it not? But I think letting go of society is such a massive thing to actually do. It's such a big thing.
So society is, we can't control society. The only thing that we can control is how we view society here, mentally. Time in our temple. This is the only real estate that we could own. And most people are tripped up because of society. I mean, look, the earth closed for 2 years. How did they pull that off? By people just saying, hey, you know what? The government must be good for us, so let's just do everything that it says. It leads you right off a cliff. There's no spirituality in that. There's no, I always follow the money. That road never lies. So who's ever benefiting monetarily, that's where the problems are. That's where they lay.
I think that's one of the actual hardest things for me personally is we need to make money to live because that is the way society is. But one of the hardest things for me personally is the fact of my spirit guides don't want me making money. They just want me to pass on the good word. They want me to build people up. They want people to understand the spiritual world, understand what's going on around us, understanding the energy that's around us and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, but we need money to live. And it's a real hard battle, actually. I personally find I hold my hands up there.
Well, so what's the battle? So here's the thing. I believe, I mean, I've been rich and I've been poor. Rich is always better. And the reason why I say that is because you have more options. You can help more money. You can help more people with currency, right? So now the difference is, what's the difference between currency and money? Most people are chasing something called currency, and they don't realize money is a store of value. Money is a conversation. Money is love. Money is energy, right? So what we're doing right now, this is money. This is a store of value. Introducing me to your audience, and I'm speaking with you, and you're going to be introduced to my audience, right? So that is money. The byproduct that comes from it is currency. That's what ebbs and flows through accounts. So that's financial literacy. I don't believe for 1 minute that you don't want to have currency. I believe you've been programmed to believe that it's bad in a way, like most of society. But what we're chasing always eludes us. So when we change our energy, when we change our monetary energy, you attract it, and then it attracts to you. So then it's an energy transfer. And as you're working with your clients, the currency transfer, you're giving them your money, which is your time, commodity, right? And they're giving you their currency in exchange. So it's an energy exchange. But I don't believe for a minute that you don't want money. I just don't. Because you're in a spiritual realm, you can have whatever it is that you want.
This is one of the things. So this is one of the things people say that I'm really trippy when I say this. So in my past lives, up until the last 3 past lives, I've been really rich, really rich.
Okay.
But I've used my witchcraft wrong and my gifts wrong. So basically, it's like the last 3 lives have gone, right, we're going to force you to be correct. So we're going to force you into poverty. But this life, I have been the happiest I've ever been in any life at all, like complete happiest. And people sit there and they go, that doesn't make sense. How can you be technically the poorest you can be? And I'm like, I have 3 beautiful daughters, a loving husband, I have multiple friends. I'm actually doing what I enjoy for life. So it's not as if I'm not enjoying what I do. And it's absolutely crazy how people sit there and they're just like, they are shocked when I talk about money. Like, well, I hold my hands up.
You're wealthy. You're wealthy. That's
I'm wealthy.
Entirely different. Yeah.
I'm more wealthy than Elon Musk. My kids are still talking to me.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, how could you? So in other words, it's like I come from a different perspective, just because I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and it was never really about the money. Like I said, I've been rich and I've been poor, and rich has always been better. However, I live in a 400 square foot apartment in Merida, Mexico. I have a beautiful garden. I got a swimming pool. I pay $350 a month now, and this is one of the most peaceful I've ever been in my life. Now I have a beautiful daughter. I still get along with my daughter's mom, my ex-wife. I have relationships that I'm very proud of, and I have things that I'm not proud of. Though I don't concentrate on the not proud stuff. So my energy exchange is different for myself.
I think one of the things as well is when we become spiritual, we accept the darkness within. So we don't come these shadow men. You know, we accept it. We're like, do you know what? I'm a twat in that moment. And I can admit that. So it's like, we are okay with it. We're like, I messed up. It's okay. I apologize to that person. I said, look, I ballsed up. I'm so sorry. And I think for me, what makes me do that is because I don't want to come a shadow man. I don't want to come staring at someone in the corner of a room going,
Right.
Give me all your light, give me all your energy. You know, I don't want to come like that. So it's like, I love that because it's so important for people to understand accepting the darkness.
I live in the darkness. I do. For the longest time, battled cancer for 13 years and the after effects of it. And, I was a high-end achiever, and all of a sudden I couldn't pay the light bill. So I understand that rich is always better because you have more options. However, it's the pursuit of money that gets people mentally distorted. Because I know plenty of people that have screwed people over for money just for shits and giggles. And it's like, why would you even do something like that? What kind of energy are you exchanging, right?
This is a thing. I meet people and people come to me and I hold my hands up. People have come to me and they'll say to me, Empress, they're skip Shawnee, which is my PA. They're skip her and they're trying to come straight to me and asking me to come on the podcast. And I'm like, why do you want to come in the podcast? Why would it benefit you? And they're like, well, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. No, I'm not asking what you can do. I'm asking what would it benefit you? And they're like, look at me, we'll have a conversation for email. And you can hear, because they've not answered for about 3-4 days, for a fact, they're like, well, how would it benefit me coming on the podcast? And all of a sudden, it's like, you can feel their energy is just not good. And it's this, I don't want to use the term using, but it's the only term I can think of. And it's like Shawnee as well. She'll send me people. She'll send me screenshots of people. And she'll go, do you want them on? And I'm like, yep, they've got good energy. She's a nightmare for that. Before anyone comes on, she sends me a screenshot. And I'm like, yeah, they have good energy. She is. She really is. Bless her heart. And this is one of the things that, for me, I find really difficult because I'm not one of these where I do it like, I didn't expect you to share it with your audience. I hold my hands up, Craig. I didn't expect that.
Why?
I think because I don't do benefit for benefit.
It's not benefit for benefit. There's the only benefit here is I just met another beautiful person.
Oh.
I mean, it's not, I talk about financial literacy. I talk about money. I talk about, the financial aspects of the world. However, it's the energy exchange.
I love good energy exchange. And everyone, I've seen a couple of comments and they're like, he's got such good energy. Some of my girls can really feel energies now. And it's just amazing when I meet someone actually on the same level as me. I'm like, oh my goodness, wow.
There are so many of us. There are so many of us. Seriously.
I think it's because a lot of us stay in the closet, don't we? Because we're not in the...
I know exactly what you're saying. It's kind of like we hold ourselves back. And I think now, I believe this is the wrong time to be holding ourselves back. I think there's an energy exchange now that is phenomenal. I was on this app for a while, a few years ago, called Clubhouse, and I got a kick out of teaching street English in India in front of like 50 guys. We are at the internet, right? We're on the internet. I'm all over the world, man. You're all over the world. Think about that. I mean, so people are seeing your face and people are feeling your energy, and people can tell whether or not you're full of shit. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, right? You know, and the energy exchange thing is so it's so important for community because the world is so small now. So you could like listen to people and then be like, he's full of shit. He just acts stupid. Like, you know what I mean? It's everything is inconsistent. Everything is like, no, I'm here to tell a story. People need to wake the fuck up. Part of my French, but people need to wake up because we only have one show, and it's this right now. This is the real deal, man. You know?
I love that. No, it is so true because it's like me and my children. We love East Asia. They all know I speak a little bit of Mandarin. I also speak a little bit of Korean. My other daughter speaks Japanese. One of my daughters speaks a little bit of Korean. So it's like we love, like I speak a little bit of German and stuff. And it's like my daughter just turned around and said to me the other day, she went, actually today, they were like, who's the one in your family going to be immortal? And they all went, none. And I went, actually, me. And my daughter went, no, you're not. And I went, yeah, I am, because I'm on the internet.
Yep.
I'm now alive
1,000 years.
everywhere. Yeah. Exactly.
Until it gets turned off.
Yeah, there'll be a
day. That's what people don't understand. You have to tap into the quantum field, man. You know, we have the ability to communicate without verbiage.
Yeah.
And people get lost. They're like, oh, you're crazy. You have no idea how crazy I am. I'm here to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. That's my shtick. That's my thing.
I love
You know who I piss off the most?
No, go on.
My clients.
Yeah, actually, I will agree with that. I'm waiting for all the comments.
I mean, I've been called everything under the sun, and I just sit there and smile because that's the aha moment, right? When humans have the ability to do whatever it is that they want to do, as long as you center that energy, you dial that frequency in, and you just laser focus. And then, like, I don't believe in manifestation. I really don't.
I don't either. I've really struggled with this. I pretended I did when I first started out, and I don't believe in manifestation. I believe it's what you put out is what you're going to get back.
So I believe we walk a parallel life. And once you change that energy, once you dial into that frequency, you just hop right into what's walking right next to you. See, humans can only see 1% of the light spectrum. So we have 99% of everything that's around us. And nobody pays attention. That's why you ever get that feeling? I'm getting goosebumps. You ever get that feeling like you feel somebody brush past you and you got that stuff on the back of your neck, like on the hair in the back of your neck, like stand up? Well, it's not as paranormal as you can get. What just walked by you?
I love that because this is what I'm trying to explain to everyone. They're in another dimension and we're walking side by side. And everyone says that I am completely insane. And I'm like, no, they're in another dimension. They've just been taken to another plane. For Christians, you'll call it purgatory because it's the only way I can think of explaining it to them. And I love that because it is so true. And there's some of us who are so enlightened, we can see it. We can... Oh, you've made me all shivery explaining it like that because it is the perfect way to explain it.
But what if we're not in different dimensions?
Oh, no.
What if our paradox is that we're walking with the things that we can't see? And remember, humans can only see 1% of the spectrum. The other 99 we can't see.
Oh, see, now that would make sense to me. So even though I say that what I said, but
it's just different words. It's all the meaning of the same. Like, I don't believe that we're seeking enlightenment. I believe that we're light. We're already light, seeking a human experience. And this kind of like pisses people off because they're like, oh, how dare you say? Because I'm a living God. I am who I am based off of heart and brain coherence that I've been able to tap into. They say God made us in his image. Well, we are living gods. And I believe most of us have been so paralyzed with fear about understanding who we are. I tap into my soul, that thing that pumps my heart and pushes my blood, that I'm not thinking about, right? So it's like I've sat in meditation after I've cried for a year or been in the worst physical pain a human can go through, or whatever drug addiction I was on at the time, because I was taking so much pharmaceuticals, and literally I walked away and just said, you know what, throw it up, man. Throw up my hands and just be like, thank you for giving me all the challenges that I could possibly handle, and just keep walking through the fire. And it's a great metaphor for walking on fire, because it's all in our minds, man. And some of us don't want to sit in our dark thoughts and alchemize everything.
I absolutely love that, because that is so true. And you've made me think now, actually, maybe the veil is just the times that we get to see the light come through for normal people. Obviously, for people like us, I hold my hands up. I feel like a complete weirdo. I was explaining to someone the other day that I drive. Honestly, I do. Right? I drive down a motorway, right? Everyone else drives down a motorway and all they see is the cars. I drive down the motorway and there's spirit there, spirit there, spirit there. And I'm like, road crash accident. Okay. Oh, you had that. Okay. Oh, random. Not sure what you did. Okay, see you later. And I'm like that. Now I'm sat there going, is it just the light hits my eyes differently? And that is why I can see them.
Yeah, your light does hit different. It's because you're cracked. Your light is shining.
Not that I'm on crack, guys. Okay.
No, not on crack. That was 1987. My belief system, like, I don't come to conclusions anymore. I never do. And the reason why I don't come to conclusions is because that's it. You're done, right? It's like you came to a conclusion, so there's no more evidence that's going to change the way you think. That's pure ignorance. So I have to be open to the expression of other people, right? So it's like I look at things a little bit different, but I've also done 300 rounds of dimethyltryptamine. I've also been a psychonaut for decades. So it's like my perception is different.
So the reason why I am fucking loving that, and I'm actually swearing, guys, and the reason why I am...
Don't do that.
Oh, no, it really, you've just said something, right? And this is what I say to people when they go, well, there's no scientific proof for that. And I'm like, that's because no one's tested it yet.
Scientific proof? I am the scientific proof.
Exactly.
People are their own scientific proof, Most of us live in cortisol and adrenaline instead of oxytocin and serotonin. So we're constantly stressed. Constantly, this, look at that, and I got to buy this, and I got to wear that, and man, fuck that. You do whatever it is that you want. Nobody's paying attention anyway, right? So you can literally walk in and take whatever it is that you want, because nobody's going to fret you. Nobody's going to fight you. Nobody's going to fret upon it, because they're not even paying attention. We're designed to be fight, flight, and freeze, right? Yeah. But when you change the way you perceive things, that whole thing starts to dissipate, because we're no longer being chased by saber-toothed tigers. Now we just have, arguments with our in-laws or our spouses or our kids, so that chemistry set changes. However, you have the ability to change that for yourself.
Yes. And this is one of the things that I say to people when I'm taking them through mediumship. When I'm doing mediumship training with some people, I don't do it anymore, but when I used to, I used to say to them, you need to let go of the fear. It's the fear stopping you from seeing it. And they're like, no, it's not. I've let go of the fear. And I'm going, no, you haven't let go of fear, because that is... So fear, there can be good fear. I always say that to people.
You do it scared.
A lot of the fear, though, is bad fear. The fear of that I'm going to get an attachment. that I'm going to have a black shadow standing in my corner. It's not like it's not something you can fight. And that's what shocks me.
Why do you think you can't fight it?
Oh, I can fight it.
I was like, the black in the corner. Hello, fucker.
I'm just
like seriously, that's it. That's what's supposed to put me in fear. Nah, man. I've been told multiple times I was gonna be dead. I should have been dead multiple times. You know, I've been told 4 different times they were going to treat me for 4 different cancers, and they were only right once. I've had to alchemize all the energies coming at me saying, hey, have you ever had a bad x-ray? It's like, what the fuck?
This is the thing. And I think, though, we're thrown trauma at us. I don't want really like the term thrown trauma at us in some ways. Or I'm going to sort that for you, beautiful. I ain't afraid of them. I fight
attachments are just, I'm just reading the comments. It's like attachments are emotional attachments to past circumstances and events.
Her one isn't. It's a ghost which has got it's a ghost which, because she can see and feel it, but she's not acknowledging it. She can't sort of, not that she's not acknowledging it. It's really weird the why it's attached to her. I've got a feeling it's actually from a past life, but it is easy
an emotional
to get rid
attachment. It's an emotional attachment because
yeah.
It's like, you know, I was told I had 922 past lives, and I know there was a few of them where I was just a really bad person, man. Really bad. You know, it's like you can think about, you know, the atrocities that people have done in history. I was probably one of the leaders. And that stuck with me for a really long time. You know, really long time.
It's strange, isn't it? So most of the people that I've been speaking to that have really come enlightened the last few years, like since the 80s, that have really come enlightened, that are really white lights that I've spoke to, we've actually been able to see our past lives, and we've realized actually I was quite a bad person then. I was actually an awful person. And we've sort of gone, I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to
cut the contract.
Yeah.
Cut the contract.
Yeah.
And that's hard work.
It's the hardest work, because when I go in to do soul ties, so basically, obviously we have soul ties to us. And when I go in to do soul cleansing, I actually cut a lot of ties off for people. So I actually cut the contract for them. And that is really, really hard work. For them to keep it up and to make sure they don't reconnect is really hard work, because as soon as they reconnect, I can always tell. I had one girl, and literally the day that her ex messaged her, I messaged her and went, "You have not." And she went, "What?" And I went, "You have not." And she went, "What's wrong?" And I went, "I can feel it." I went, "You've just messaged them back, haven't you?" And she went, "Yeah." I said, "That connection's now back."
Yeah. Rent is due every day, man. You know, rent is due every day. It's a mindset. I got a buddy of mine, Iffy. He's like, we don't get ready, we stay ready, and that's going against the spiritual attacks. You know, I believe in spells. I've had spells. I've had people do some horrible shit to me, and I've laughed most of the way. You know, I've had shamans come up to me where they couldn't even look at me in the face. It's like, yeah, because I got your number. I got your number, man. You're just taking people's money just to take it.
Oh, don't. I hate them ones. I watch TikTok.
They're everywhere, man. They're everywhere.
Oh, it's awful, because I'm very strict about what I do for people. Really, really strict.
Boundaries are very important.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a lady keep coming to me for cutting cord, and I just, in the end, I had to go no. I was like, look, he's not coming back. I says, they're not coming back. And people like don't seem to recognize their own boundaries sometimes.
They don't have any sometimes. And that's the reason why they get shit over all the time, because they don't have boundaries.
Yeah.
Because it's the emotional attachment to the insecurities, self-sabotaging behaviors, like everything all in this big package. bullshit that people believe about themselves. And it's like, you know what? Something my daughter calls them non-playable characters, NPCs. Because there are periphery people, you know. I call them periphery people. You know, you're dealing with the people that are in front of you, and then you have these clowns and these court jesters. I considered myself a court jester. I really did. Because
I love that.
Because it's like the king always gets his information from the court jester, because people will tell the court jester everything just because they believe that he's funny.
Oh.
Right? So it's a very prudent game of chess, while most people are playing checkers. I don't care what somebody says about me, because I know whatever they're talking about, it's based off of their life experience. Look around, there's a lot of people that don't have experience in life. They're like walking zombies.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hey, JC. That is so true. And this is one of the things that frustrates me. And I used to be a walking zombie. JC, that's just come in, she's a very good friend, bless her, for a lot of years. And she'll tell you, I used to be a walking zombie. I used to be like.
So what was the catalyst to the change? What was the catalyst to make you believe something different?
So basically, I met a random woman, and I don't know whether, so this is going to sound insane. Okay. So I met this random woman just before I had my daughter Bella. I don't know who she was or anything. I went for coffees with her at this thing, and she taught me how to cleanse my soul, taught me how to heal. It's something that I did keep very secret for a long time. I think JC and her mum sort of had an inkling that I did this sort of thing. But it's something I kept very secret for a long time. But she taught me how to heal, and that it was sort of meeting her that actually made me realize the antidepressants were not helping me. I thought you did. The antidepressants were not helping me. It made me realize that counseling wasn't helping me. It made me realize that people keep telling me I'm insane for seeing things wasn't helping me. Like, I would literally see something across the room and zone out at it while I'm watching it and listening to what it's saying to me. And people would have to knock me and tell me, "What are you looking at, Amy?" And I'm like, I don't know. What were you saying? You know, and I'd react like that. Sometimes when I'm zoning out, it's because I've got either a spirit talking to me or a spirit's walked into the room, because they want a connection with us.
Of course,
well.
but when you put on the magic glasses, you can never take them off, and that's a heavy burden for a lot of people, and that was a burden for me for such a long time. I look at my stories, and I can freely talk about whatever now, but it doesn't matter because I have no emotional attachment to that shit. From molestation, drug addiction, bankruptcies, you know, failed businesses, losing houses, cars, cancer, like 9/11. Like, I wonder sometimes. I stood on top of the rubble of the World Trade Center, and I'm just like, I'm still in awe of that, because I was a part of history that became my life. Right. So it's like, why? And it's like, you know, for the longest time it was why? And it was like, why not? It happens to people every day. Like, what are you questioning? Right. But then you have to build that thick skin, because when people are like, oh, well, Empress Sparkle, you know, it's like, do you really sparkle? And it's like, yeah, I beam, man. I beam. I'm here to disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. I'm here to piss people off. I'm here to help them regulate their emotions. Because when you regulate your emotions, it's a game changer. It really is. Yeah.
It really is, because, like, I know for a fact JC will see me now and she will be so freaking shocked, because the last time JC saw me, I was literally like, I was just like, can't be bothered with life.
I have a nephew like that.
You know, and this is why, for me, it's crazy when people sit there and they say to me, you know, they always say about the name Empress Sparkle. And I'm like, well, that's because I had to hide at the start. And then I go into explaining it. And I'm like, do you know what? Stuff you. I'm the Empress card. That is what I am. And I bloody shine. I sparkle like bloody Edward Cullen from Twilight.
Why not?
You know, and it's just like, and then also
I call myself the shaman from Jersey.
Oh, I love that.
Well, why not? Nobody's taking that away from you. Nobody should take Empress Sparkle away from you.
Exactly. And this is one of the things that I think is strange. Once we accept ourselves and we're okay with ourselves, it's strange for a lot of people around us. Like,
who gives a shit,
so
though? That's the part. You know what's really strange? Most of those people believe in God. Okay? No, don't come at me yet. All right? I'm just saying. Most of those people believe in something that they can't see, right?
Oh, I know exactly where you're gonna go.
However, right? They have all the faith, right? Well, I can see shit that they'll never see. And I have faith in me, right? Because I know exactly who I am. I'm the first one to raise my hand. People are like, oh, you're batshit crazy. You have no idea how batshit crazy I am. And, you know, we just have to just embrace ourselves, man. But a lot of people don't want to become themselves. They want to be a carbon copy of other people.
Exactly. And this is the thing that frustrates the hell out of me, because I'm like, I'll get a Christian come to me and go, oh my goodness, how can you believe in that stuff? It's not real. It's this, it's that, it's this. And I'm like, so you believe in Moses? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, there's no record of him in the most amazing record keeping country in the world for its time. There's no record of him.
Wait, didn't he walk the desert for like 40 years or something?
Yeah.
You ever see a map? Do you ever see the map of where he walked? You can get around that shit in like 7 days. Like, so what was he doing? Going back and forth?
It might have been doing the cross.
I mean, great metaphors, you know, great stories, you know, but it's the same, but it's been the same in like 12 different cultures and societies around the world forever.
This is one of the things. So I say I'm a Hellenic pagan, and
you're what?
Hellenic pagan. So I worship the Greek gods.
Okay.
But for me, the reason I worship the Greek gods, and they know this and they're okay with this when I speak to them, the reason I worship the Greek gods is because I need a name.
Okay.
And
so you're like, that's...
Yeah, I need a name. But my daughter was the reason that I actually changed this and realized this, because she said to me one day, my daughter's severely autistic. And she said to me one day, Mum, have you noticed that every religion has the same stories? And I looked at her and I went, what? She went, every religion, she says, from Greek mythology, Japanese mythology, Korean mythology, Indian Hinduism, Buddhism. She went, Christianity, they all have the same stories. And I'm sat there and I'm looking at her and I'm going, right. And she goes, what if there's only one God, which is the universe, and it just makes sure that everyone believed? But obviously at the time we couldn't communicate like we can now.
Yeah, Babel.
And I went,
that's why Babel was created. Yeah.
She went, so maybe at the time, that is why he chose different sectors and gave them the same myths. And I'm sat there going, baby girl, I think you're onto something. Her
computer is different. Her frequency is different.
She is the most purest white light you can meet. Honestly, she is so pure. It's unbelievable. And it's like, she is so tapped in. Like, she'll come downstairs to me and she'll say, Mum, there's a lady in my corner. And I go, oh, okay. She says, I'm desperate to write a book. And I'm like, go upstairs and write a book then. She goes, but I can't think what of. And I'll go, speak to the lady in the corner. She'll go, why? And I go, because I think you've got a muse. And she'll say to me, she'll say, what's a muse? And I go, basically a nymph, babe. And she'll look at me and she'll go, all right. So she'll go upstairs and she'll talk to it and she'll go, Mum, you're right, it's a muse. She's going to help me. And I'm like, okay.
She sees the light spectrum difference as well.
She is amazing. Like I said to her, if she won't practice because of her autism. She doesn't understand emotion, which is perfect for the universe. But because of the darker spirits that are in the universe that do understand emotion, she's worried about them. So she won't do it. So she allows them to come to her when they need, like muses and stuff like that. But she won't do anything else.
Her math is different. Her equations are different. You know, I've dealt with a lot of autistic kids, a lot of autistic adults. The way they perceive things is wild. It's like, because you know, people like, oh, autistic, they're different. Like, yeah, you have no idea how different. They're the star seeds, man. They're the
yes.
They're the wild ones, man. You know?
They truly are. Like, the way she sees stuff is amazing to me. Like, even someone that sees things, it's amazing to me, because some of the stuff she comes through and says to me, I sit there and go, where did you get that from? She went, I don't know, but I all of a sudden had to research it. And I'm like, right, okay, she's had a message from somewhere, doesn't know it's a message from somewhere, so she's had to research it. And she'll come through to me and she'll be like, Mum, did you realise that dinosaurs were wiped out by a big rock? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, meter, you know, correct.
Yeah, it's literally 40 miles away from here.
Oh, is
I live in Merida, Mexico. Yeah, it hit in Xixcoatl.
Oh, wow.
See,
she'd come through to me. She'd love that, to be honest. And then I'll say to her, right, okay, where are we going with this, baby girl? She's like, how did the dumbest animal, a chicken, survive it? And I sit there and I look at it and I'm going, actually, how do I answer that? She's like, I can't find the answer anywhere. She says, but I need to know, how did the dumbest chicken? And I'm like, I don't know, baby girl. She's like, crocodiles, I can understand. They live in the water. They just hid themselves for a few years. But still, they have to breathe air. And I'm sat there going, please don't ask me these questions. I'm not a scientist.
She is.
She truly is. She should be a scientist.
I had a bad experience one time. And I'm not really proud of this, but I was very proud of it, all right? Because I understood autism at the time. My nephew's autistic. And like, I get it. I understand it. And I had to figure out something online. I just got screwed out of some money. And at the time, I couldn't get screwed out of that money because I didn't have any to get screwed out of. So I found a company in Atlanta. And it's an online company, so they don't want you going to the office. And I was like, look, I put in 15 tickets. I talked to nobody. So I just showed up at their office, okay? And I knocking on a door, and this girl in her 20s, right? She walks out to open the door, and she's got a computer in her hand, okay? And she's staring at the computer as she's letting me in. And I was like, oh, this is very interesting because there's no eye contact, right? And then I looked around the room and I saw a whole bunch of these young adults with computers just fixated like this, man. And there was a bunch of them. And she was not supposed to open up the door. However, the boss came out and he was pissed. He's like, what are you doing here and everything? I was like, look, I'm trying to get this resolved online. Nobody's helping me. And he goes, well, we don't do that here. You need to go online, wait for a ticket, and all that. I said, let me explain something to you. I'm in your office right now. I know exactly what to do to set off every one of these young adults. And he looked at me and he was like, you mother. I got everything resolved right then and there, and I was asked never to come back. I was like, oh, you want to play games? We can play.
Do you know what, though? My intuition just went, that bastard sorry for the French guys, because I can see what that is, one of them twats we were talking about at the start. I can see that straight away. He was using them because technology is
that's their thing, man. That's their focus, that's their home. That's where they're mentally comfortable. Right? And
yeah. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Shawnee.
Thank you, Johnny.
This is a thing. And this is one of the things I think people don't realize with kid. Like I love kids with autism. Like I seem to sort of like, I'm a kiddie. This sounds wrong. I'm one of them people that can get on really well with kids, no matter what. Anyway, and it's like autistic kids. People really shocked because I get on really well, but I think it's because I understand them. Like I don't understand them fully, but I think once we're spiritually aware of stuff that's going on around us, because autism children, this is how I know when, I know this is going to sound awful. This is how I know when someone's faking autism.
Oh no, they do.
Because they're not spiritually aware. Like I know that sounds really weird, but it's like I met a kid. Yeah.
Not at all.
And it's like I remember meeting someone one day, and they do gravitate to me. I honestly, I've all the time they do. Bless their hearts. I met this person through Empress Sparkle, and they literally stood there, and they were like, "I'm autistic. I am this." By the way, I never recorded a podcast. This is before Shawnee come and help me. I never opened up podcast with this person because of how bad it ended up. And basically I could tell they were after the financial side, because when I was speaking to them, they were using autism to get famous.
Okay.
And I was speaking to them, and they were like, "Oh, because I'm autistic, I can charge £500 an hour." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that's not something an autistic person says.
Yeah, I'm like,
some douche says.
Yeah, I literally sat there and I'm like, I didn't release it in the end because I was just like stood there like, what? And they were really shocked that I was like, what? And I was like, my autistic daughter doesn't even understand autism. Like she
or
just
money. Sure, or money, you know.
She knows it's important. She knows that it's important, but she doesn't understand why it needs to be spent on certain things. The only thing she thinks money is needed for is beds, food, and that is it. Not even computer games. She won't even spend money on computer games. And I was literally sat there and I was like, as soon as they said that, I went, I can't release this. I literally
Why not?
I can't.
Why not?
It's been deleted now, so I wouldn't.
No. But I'm saying, like, one of the greatest experiences of my life is I lived in a bush in Jamaica for 6 months with somebody that was savant, and Louis actually showed me what the mind can do and how deep you could really go. And he was literally my first like mindset mentor. I mean, other than my family members, you know, because I grew up in a Sicilian household. You know, even though my last name is Slovak, but my father didn't have any siblings, and my aunts and uncles were, you know, they were our mentors. They were the ones that taught us, and they were all Sigis. And that's why I learned how to read body language before somebody even speaks. You can tell what they're thinking about.
Exactly. And this is one of the things I think, I will admit, that is one of the things that trauma gives us, is the fact we can read body language quite quick.
Yes.
Things like we're super sensitive if we walk. The hardest thing is we're super sensitive if we walk into a room and you can cut the atmosphere for the knife. But the hardest thing for me is when I walk into an empty room and I can cut the atmosphere with a knife. I'm like, where's the spirit? Where are you?
The remnants.
I can't see you.
The remnants of the energy.
Yeah. I'm like, where are you? And this is one of the things that, for me, I think does sort of stem from trauma, is that fight or flight mode, feeling the energies through that. I do feel that does stem from that.
Yeah, you got to sit in that dark side to learn about the light. You know, the brilliance of your light.
Exactly, and that is one of the things I'm always on about it to the girls. I'm always like, "Come on, we've got to build that light up, girls. We've got to come on. We've got, you know." I used to have a couple of lads, but
Do you listen to somatic frequencies?
yes,
Yeah, I
rarely.
program myself. Well, the rents always do. So it's like, I listen to somatic frequencies 16 hours a day now, 8 hours a day. It depends on my day.
Do you know what one of my favorite actual? I played it for the girls the other day while I was meditating with them in the spiritual guidance, and they were really shocked. One of my favorite ones to actually go to is Chinese music, the celestial music, because
Those
the
are all somatic frequencies. Yeah, they're all frequencies.
exactly, yeah. So that is my favorite. I drive with that on everything. I don't that and Tibetan I find is pretty good for them.
It depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what mood you want to, enhance.
Totally does. It totally does, whether you want to be relaxed or I say that sometimes the celestial stuff does get me like I want to go and dance as if I'm in East China and do all the dancing that they do.
Why not do it? Why not just No, I'm dead serious, man. I had one of the best coaches in the world. His name's Craig Ashley, right? And he was telling me one time, he's like, listen, man, if you ever get depressed, anxious, whatever, just start skipping. You can't be depressed or anxious or like sit in that disempowered thought if you're skipping.
So there's quite a few on here. You have to find a frequency for you though. So it's a bit like crystals.
Well, not okay. So the thing about frequencies is frequencies are universal, right? So frequencies are going to put you in a state. Okay. Now that state could be, well, I have this problem or this obstacle, and I want to elevate myself to 936 Hz, maybe kick in your pineal gland a little bit, or heart coherence frequencies. These are things that are adjustable, right? Because they're frequencies. So we have to adjust it because we all have the same processing center. We all have the same reticular activating system. And all that thing is a cyborg. All it's doing is listening, watching, words, phrases, frequencies, and it just wants to please you. Like we were talking about before. But we no longer get attacked by saber-toothed tigers.
Oh, have they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You have to do your homework, man, because YouTube is wild. Man. That's the Wild West. People will just say whatever they want, just put it up there.
Oh, yes, that is very true. Sadly, I will have a search into what frequencies stuff are. I'm sure the celestial is it's 10 something, but I can't think what it is. But I think that is mainly, I'm going to have to Google it now. This is where my autistic daughter has.
She's got the Bauer view on that.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's. Oh, it's brought up mythology. Oh no, so that is wow. It's a 440. That explains why I can really visualize stuff on it. I did not know that.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, because I go into proper visualizations on that, like proper mad visualizations. That's actually, you can see how much that shocked me.
That's pretty cool, though.
It is. Because I was confused why I could visualize so much with it being such a low. I don't know whether 1040 is a low frequency. I think it is, isn't it? So I did wonder, but with it being 440, that's actually really. Yeah. That explains as well, if I fall asleep with it on, why I have nutty dreams. Okay, I'm just sat here in shock now. So if you want to see dead people like we do, just put that on. That explains why in ancient China they really badly believed in spirits.
Sure. One of the worst marketing campaigns that ever failed was in Japan.
Who was it?
It was McDonald's. Because they brought Ronald McDonald's to Japan, and he had whiteface. So you're trying to sell hamburgers to a culture that just saw Ronald McDonald as a ghost.
Oh wow. See, yeah, because they're really strict, because they even actually scare their children, don't they? Oh right, this is going to sound really bad. I've just realised that. Right, so there's this demon that comes and takes away children for being naughty. Okay, in Japan. There's actually paid actors that dress up as this demon, and if their child's been naughty at school, their teacher will contact this person. And they will actually scare the child after school.
I think that's really cool. Keep that little fucker in line.
This is the thing, though. Over there, India, it's a shame in a way the Western world's lost it. I think it's a shame.
I think the Western world was designed to be that ignorant. I really do. Because you have to look at our history. I mean, real history. I'm talking Lemuria. I'm talking Atlantis. I'm talking all the things that they don't want you to know about. And I believe that there's more civilizations below the waterlines than has ever been above the waterlines. And we're only just starting to figure this stuff out, man. And it's like, I used to live there. That was one of my recalls.
Yeah, I'm just keeping my mouth stumped because I don't believe in global warming.
Global warming? It's the biggest farce on planet Earth, next to chemtrails. I mean, they want us dead and stupid. That's it. Global warming. I mean, think about all the people that brought up global warming, right? They all have mansions on the beach. They ain't giving that up. And they're all driving around in private jets. They ain't giving that up.
Exactly.
It's all about tax. It's all about a VIG that people have to pay so their country doesn't rise. Yeah.
It's not just that. So I turned around and my autistic daughter, we were talking about history, and she comes back to me one day, and we're originally from Cambridgeshire, and Cambridgeshire is fenland, so it's swamps.
Okay.
And she came to me one day and she went, Mum, Cambridgeshire is meant to be underwater in about 500 years. And I'm like, yeah, because obviously they keep talking about it being flooded. I dared to ask my teacher, it was underwater before, wasn't it? So does it really matter that it's going to be underwater again? And I went, you bloody didn't. And she went, I did, Mum. She says, you taught me that. I went, I know I did, baby, but you weren't meant to tell anyone else. She went, yeah, but she had it wrong.
Yeah.
She says she had it wrong. She's saying that we were never underwater. She says, but it was all marshland, the whole of Cambridgeshire. She said that's why there's a cathedral, the Isle of Ely, is called the Isle of Ely, because it used to be an island. And I'm sat there going, you didn't correct your teacher even on that, did you? She went, yeah, I did. Yeah. And I went, no.
Why? You're teaching her to do this. Why would you see? Because then that's a different thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. I do think that they need to change the curriculum so it's actually true. Is the way I'm going to word
That'll
it.
never happen. That's the Rockefeller Foundation and all of that stuff. They'll never redo the books.
Really have. Right, just for JC, because I know JC won't be able to see that, okay, because she's over on Facebook, she's not on YouTube. JC, Heather's put, I was led to believe March area was underwater and Whiz Beach people have webbed feet. So basically,
I believe I used to have gills. That's serious too. That was one of my lives, man.
oh, honestly, that's
Look, we
bad.
all have different delusions, right?
Exactly. No,
I just embrace mine. I'm a little bit different than most. I'm not running away from them.
Oh, no, I definitely am. Eva, I've just realised the time, lovely. Are you okay to carry on, or?
Sure, I
Yeah.
do this for hours. I've been on podcasts for 4 or 5 hours before, man. We just never stop. We just keep going.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I love it. I will explain that. It's basically everyone takes a mick out of Whiz Beach people that they're inbred. So that's why I told her off for it.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're all inbred if you think about it.
Well, if we go by the Bible, we definitely are, aren't we?
It's another book. Metaphors.
I think that's one of the things that people often actually forget, I think, is the way everything sort of like started.
Humans have amnesia. Absolutely. That's a Graham Hancock expression. Humans have amnesia. I mean, I think we do. Because nobody talks about Tartaria. Nobody talks about, look at all the cathedrals around the world, right? Look at the cathedrals that are, 400 or 500 years old. And you're going to tell me that people riding donkeys built those things? It's like, I don't understand where most people are not questioning. See, a lot of people don't want to ask questions because they're sitting in their, in their comfortable thoughts.
Well, it's like Stonehenge.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
did it get stone? So I don't know whether you know about Stonehenge.
Oh, yeah.
So its stones come from 500 miles away.
Yeah.
Not 500, 300 miles away. So it's
whatever
like,
the distance. It's the same thing in Gaza. It's not in Gaza. Yeah, in Gaza. No, Giza.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Giza. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how did they move that stuff? It's all frequencies.
Exactly.
It's all magnetics and frequencies.
And they were, and I think, I do believe, part of me does believe, there's a bloke on TikTok. I don't follow him because I don't want anyone to see that I actually like his content, and I'll hold my hands up. So I'm grasping myself up here. There's a bloke on TikTok. He's got lovely, gorgeous white blonde hair. And it's really long. And he talks about hidden
That's
books.
a description. It's a hidden description.
He does about hidden books and how actually the Bible's been changed throughout history. And the original, like, I never knew about the Enoch
Book of
Bible.
Enoch?
Yeah, I never knew about that. And I was a strict Christian.
Look, it's all changed during like the King David version. I mean, history is such a wild because it's like it's more about his story than history itself. It's like whatever his story is. So if I beat your ass in something, I get to write the book, right?
Yes.
So I eliminate your history. So I tell
Yes.
my story. So it's his story over everybody.
I think this is one of the things that's absolutely crazy for me because this again, talking about the paranormal world, that is exactly the same. It's all about whose story is going to be shouted louder, whose stories are going to be taken as more real, whose story is going to be actually go down in the history books. I think now because the internet, it's actually.
The Anunnaki, that's mom and dad coming to check on the kids again.
Hold on. I need to refresh. I know the name. I need to refresh. That is the Egyptian pantheon. Okay. JC, they do. Everyone rewrites, even now. And this is one of the things that I think a lot of people actually do now, for me personally. And this part here needs to belong on my spiritual, but it's fine. Because they do. I find, and I don't know about you, Craig, yourself, I find a lot of people who are narcissistic, who go for greed, go for control, and stuff like that. So people very much in power, they write it the way they want it to be.
Well, that's what we do. We rewrite our own history. Right?
Yeah.
Change the emotional stories, change the emotions to the stories that we have. So this way we're not sitting in there
and moping and going, oh, well, this happened to me.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that, man. And I think that's what, like, when you get through the other side, when you get through the other side, that's why I always say the rent is always due, because it's a learned practice. You got to recreate who you are in this life. I've had so many deaths in this life. Oh my God. I mean, it's just like one death after the next, man. I've lived so many lives in this one.
Exactly. Yeah, because actually that's something you put on your thing, that you had a near-death experience, didn't you?
Many. Many.
So I need to ask a question. Sorry, sure. I need to ask a question on it, Craig, and I hope you don't mind. Did any of them that you see the other side, or
did any what?
With any of them, did you see the other side, or?
No, I saw the other side with dimethyltryptamine.
Oh, wow.
But my other side, like my vivid delusions, right? Difference in some people look for a positive, but maybe look for a negative.
That is true.
What if a negative was a positive? What if instead of looking at the way we change our lives as like a crucifixion, it could be a reincarnation. It could be something that can be energetically changed. Out of body experiences. Oh yeah, man. I've floated over many of my experiences.
Well, I've got a secret to tell everyone, and I haven't been able to do it for, how old am I? I'm 40 next week. Oh my God. So I haven't been able to do it since I was 23, because I haven't practiced it since then. But I used to astro project on command.
Yeah, it's like tapping into alpha and delta and theta. Yeah.
Oh, it's trippy. Yeah. When you first do it, you're a bit like, you pull yourself back straight away, because you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, you're ready to get fired through that cannon,
man. It is a strange thing. I think I'm going to give JC a message after this, because I know what she's talking about, bless her, and I want to give her some love. But yeah, it is hard to change negative into a positive. But once you're out, once you've got, I'm not going to word it carefully. So for me personally, it's things like my trauma. So I was sexually abused till I was 2, till I was 5. I was AR'd at 18 by 2 lads. I witnessed EV all the time growing up. And now I've turned that into a positive, because I now help people that are going through that or been through that. And I think that's actually one of the things that we have to do. I know why we're in it. It's very, very hard. So astro projection is out of body experience on command.
Yeah.
So whereas out of body experience is usually why you're in sort of alpha and data, while you're falling asleep.
Not necessarily that's the whole thing. No.
Really?
Epigenetics is entirely different than what we've been taught. Yeah. Now we're getting down to a molecular level, a cellular level.
Oh, come on then. No, I need this now.
No, it's not about sleeping 8 hours. It's about tapping into 2 hours of REM, right? Where your mind is actually away from you. Yeah, you can do that, and you can do that like instantaneously.
Oh yeah.
Practice forever.
I go into REM. People laugh at me because I can do it through 5 breaths. I always say to people, right, I just need to take 5 deep breaths and I'm in REM. And yeah, so REM, so basically it's your sort of in between deep sleep and awake. I'm so glad you call it REM, so I can call it REM. Everyone else calls it alpha and data that I've met. So yeah, so basically it's in between them times, and you can go there. It's awesome. I used to, Amp kill me if he can hear me saying this. I used to go and spy on Amp. I used to go and spy on him because you could send your soul miles and watch people and act like. So basically, when you do it, you actually go into the ghost realm, what people would call the ghost realm. So you're.
I was going to say what people call the ghost realm.
Yeah, I'm now changing
that
because
we can't. It's a realm that we just can't see until we're able to.
What if the ghost realm is just loads of people astro projecting because half the world's asleep? Oh my goodness, Craig! Look what you've done to me, Craig.
Like I said, I'm here to disturb the comfortable and comfortable disturbed.
But it's true, half the world's asleep. So what if it's just loads of people astro projecting?
What if it's just things that you can't see?
Oh, it's definitely things we can't see, like the Keras.
But you can feel. That brings you a different heightened experience in human behavior.
It's crazy. I think part 2 is needed because I can tell some of you are getting tired, bless your hearts, because it's quite late at night here. If you couldn't tell by my background. I definitely think it is because we need to tap into this side of things, the astral projection and that. We definitely need to tap into that because I think there'll all be. It's crazy. I've never met anyone else that's knew they could do it on command. Everyone else has said to me, "Oh, I do it when I'm falling asleep and stuff."
I sat in a circle of life, called the Circle of Life. It's a 15-foot circle, and when I was in Jamaica, I sat in it for 3 days, and I learned, like I said, I lived with somebody that was savant, so he showed me exactly what the mind can do and how it can really distort your reality, man. You know, just with thought alone. And I actually met my daughter in the last day sitting in the circle. And there was an energy that jumped into me that I communicated with. And the last communication I had with this energy was when I caught my daughter after my wife gave birth. And that to me solidified that there's different things in this world. And, you know, I was born the morning after my grandmother died in the same hospital.
Yeah.
So I look at my life differently. And people are like, "Oh, you're crazy." And it's like, I don't give a shit what you think. If anything, I'm going to get louder.
My favorite auntie that my daughter's named after, I had massive Braxton Hicks the day after she passed, and they wouldn't stop until the day she born. And we couldn't understand it because even nurses and doctors were like, "This is really weird. Like, people don't usually have this." I was literally taken into hospital 15 times. Oh, bless him. All right. Mwah. Tell him I love him and I miss him. My gorgeous godson, Harry, bless him. And this is one of the things that really people shocked at because of the fact of they don't seem to realize. Part of me always says a part of my auntie jumped into her that day because it was really weird that I was getting these pains and stuff. And part of me says it was either she wanted to meet her, so she was trying to like psychologically say, because I remember my last seeing of her, I tried to get her to feel Jennifer kick, and she couldn't feel a kick, and she actually burst down. She was passing away. She was riddled with cancer, and you know when it does the lymph nodes, where it finally gets to the lymph nodes, so you can't feel anything. And I remember her trying to feel a kick, and she burst into tears, and she went. At that point, and I feel like sometimes it wasn't to hurt me, but she went, "Amanda, I don't even know why you're pretending to be Amy. I only want to see Amy's baby." And I literally burst into tears and I went, "Auntie Debbie, it is me." And she went, "Don't lie. You're not my Amy." And I always feel like that was done sort of like to protect me. And then I feel like a couple of days later she passed, and that's when they started. And I feel like part of her wanted to meet Jennifer, even though she was like would have been miles too early. I always feel like it's either part of her wanted to meet her, or I don't think she would have jumped into her like soul wise. I don't think that, because we weren't that as close as that. I don't think.
But you don't know.
But no, I don't know.
In which life?
Exactly. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Right, my lovely. Our viewers are disappearing, so we better.
Yeah.
So,
no. Let's catch up again. I really
definitely
appreciate the conversation. I really do.
No, so do I, to be honest. It's nice to speak to someone on the same level, because I struggle sometimes with some people because
Never struggle. Don't ever struggle. No, I'm serious, because I've been listening to the words and phrases, man, and it's like you're in this context, and it's like
I love it. Shawnee's like, I'll definitely be in touch. She's really enjoyed this. I can tell that. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, guys, as well. Never ever forget. Keep sparkling.